立法會主席。
President. Dr. Wendy Hong. Thank you, Chairman. Secretary, I'd like to take this opportunity to make some suggestions. I suggest that the consumption voucher scheme should be used as a guide to develop certain industries. The consumption voucher scheme has stimulated the economy, as brought Dr. Hong. This debate is about the inclusion of the sums. If you have other suggestions, you should take it up with the Secretary on other occasions. We should be speaking to the issue of whether the sum should form part of the bill, and we're not dealing with any new suggestions. Well, then I suggest this to the Secretary on other occasions. Mr. Louis Long. Chairman, this debate covers 84 heads. I'd like to highlight some of them to do with the real estate sector. We're all concerned about the supply of housing and land. I think in order to expedite the supply of land and housing, not only should we review the statutory procedures and legislation, we should also streamline the workflow administratively and loosen up the rules and regulation. Head 91 about the Lands Department. At the Special Finance Committee, in reply to my question, the administration said that the Lands Department, together with the Buildings Department, has appointed a consultant to look at the BIM and also all the tools associated with this to work out whether the calculation of size is in compliance with the buildings ordinance. In this regard, the government should not simply encourage the building sector to use BIM. I urge the administration to complete the consultancy study as soon as possible so that BIM will be applicable across the board in place of paper-based workflow. As to Head 138, the Development Bureau and the planning branch, the government will take measures to increase the land supply for the medium and long term. 103 hectares of land will become available to build more than 57,000 private residential units. What is noteworthy is that there is a site, residential sites in Tuen Mun. Last week, the site was withdrawn from the bidding process. Over the past 5 financial years, there have been 6 occasions on which the bidding price fell below the upset price, and they had to be withdrawn. 2 involved residential sites. The tender, the fact that the tender fell through would affect the availability of site. The bidding price shouldn't the bidding price represent the market price? If there is a difference between the bidding price and the government's upset price, I think the government should seriously review this issue in order not to affect the housing supply. Head 159, the Development Bureau, the planning branch, the government said that $1 billion will be devoted to the building sector increase, the quota, in order to lure more new blood into the construction sector.
And also the skills of the serving construction workers will be enhanced to retain talents. The sums can provide 20,000 places in 2 years to train up new blood to become semi-skilled workers. And 6,800 places will be provided to train up semi-skilled workers as skilled workers. This initiative can directly benefit construction workers, and I support this initiative. President, I support that the sums for all the following the headstand part of the schedule. Mr. Tony Chair. Thank you, Chairman. I'm going to speak on Head 140, and that is about the Health Bureau. In 2023, the estimated expenditure for this head is $110 billion, taking up 16.4% of the total government expenditure. This is the heads with the largest commitment. We face unprecedented challenge in the epidemic. We have to procure vaccines and so on. All these need money. Now, the health branch of the FHB is receiving the largest amount of funds, and this is indisputable. But I'm concerned whether this $110 billion of public funds are spent most wisely. Can we really help those in need? In face of aging population, health expenditure has reached record high. If we go by the present approach, can we be sustainable in the long term? Together with G19 members, I have met with the mainland medical support team in Hong Kong, and we see that there are two imbalances in Hong Kong's healthcare system. First is the imbalance between the Western and Chinese medicine. Mr. Tony Chair, this is a debate about the headstanding part of the schedule. We are not going to discuss new policies, public policies. Please come back to the question. For the $110 billion, and some $90 billion will be allocated to the hospital authority. The HA is responsible for managing public hospitals, but as far as preventive medicine is concerned, I believe that the ratio in terms of the expenditure to be committed is very low. So are we spending the money wisely? Especially in this at this time, we should emphasize not just the management of hospitals. We should also place emphasis on safeguarding people's health. So in terms of resource utilization, can we put more emphasis on preventive medicine instead of focusing our resources on the public hospitals so that we can generate better results? I hope that the FS can pay attention to this, not just putting a focus on managing hospitals, but rather you should focus on safeguarding people's health so that people can lead a healthy life. So we're talking about a sum of $110 billion. We hope that this amount can be spent wisely. Mr. Stephen Ho, thank you. I would like to speak about Head 22 and 139 and talk about whether the heads should stand part of the schedule. Many members have referred to the fact that we are speaking on a narrow range of subjects. Head 22, it's and fresh food, and it's about country parks. And Program 3, it's fisheries management technologies and so on. And then And head 139, that is under FHB, is food safety. And Country Park is subsumed under the CEDB tourism program. And for flora and fauna, and the agriculture and fisheries technology have become another subhead and program. So these come under the Development Bureau's portfolio. So when we look at these subheads, the agriculture and fishery sector is subject to the management by the EMB and also FHB. And then also the Secretary for Development is also having a responsibility over the industry, and also the THB as well. So in other words, we come under the ambit of different bureaus. So next year, if the government wants the legislators to support you with greater efforts, you should actually reduce the number of policy bureaus in charge of A&F sector, because sometimes if we have to apply for a service, we have to approach a dozen or so departments. So there should be a government restructuring on that front. I know that development is important, but for our industry, we should have a consolidation of all the policies and measures. And from the heads stated here, I can see that in terms of distribution of resources, you are not really doing anything to help with promoting the development of the A&F industry. I think the upper level infrastructure is very important. I hope that the government can re-examine these different heads. Maybe members of the public may not understand what I'm talking about. It's difficult to really make it simple for ordinary members of the public. But anyway, I hope that the SAR government can communicate more with the members of the public. The electrical now work differently than in the past. Now we are giving only, say, a few minutes to speak at the ESC, FC, and so on. And the policies for the A&F industry are fragmented and straddled across different policy bureaus and departments. So I hope that you can do more, and I hope that the panel chairman can give members more time to speak at meetings, and others, please give us more time to talk about the initiatives in the budget. So I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart here. So I hope that you can address concerns of the industry. All right. Does any member wish to speak? If not, then I would ask the government officials to speak before we come to the end of the debate. Does any government official wish to speak? I now put the question to you that the sums for all that has read out by this class stand part of the schedule. Will those in favor please raise their hands? Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. The committee has dealt with all the heads in the schedule. I now put the question to you that the schedule stand part of the bill. Will those in favor please raise their hands? Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. So I declare the motion passed. I now propose the question to you that the following clauses stand part of the bill. Clauses 1 and 2. I wish to remind members that the committee will now proceed to a debate on the two clauses standing part of the bill. Members may state during the debate if they support the bill as a whole. Upon the conclusion of the debate, the committee will vote on the two clauses standing part of the bill. Does any member wish to speak? If not, the committee now votes on the clauses standing part of the bill. I now put the question to you that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill. Will those in favor please raise their hands? Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. All the proceedings on the Appropriation Bill 2022 have been concluded in Committee of the Whole Council. Council now resumes. Financial Secretary. President, I now report to the Council that the appropriation President, I now report to the Council that the Appropriation Bill 2022 has been passed by Committee of the Whole Council without amendment. I move the motion that this Council adopts the report. I now propose a question to you that the Financial Secretary's motion be passed. Those in favor, please raise their hand. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed. Third reading.